Welcome back, Chaos Lovers. Tonight, we're going to be diving in to some crazy stuff tonight that is dark, disturbing, and honestly mind-blowing manipulative. Are you guys ready? So, we're going to talk about Gypsy Blanchard. You've probably heard her name because of her mother, Dee, and the infamous Munchausen by proxy case. But Gypsy's story doesn't stop at being a victim. No, honey, it spirals into manipulation, psychological abuse, and disturbing personal choices that make your head spin. Fact, Gypsy was raised in a world where truth and lies were tangled together, like Christmas lights after a fight. Her mother, Dee, controlled her every detail, her illness, her wheelchair, her medications. So when a world saw Gypsy as a helpless young woman, it was all careful, curated. Now, let's get into the psychological side of Gypsy Blanchard. It's pretty crazy, right? Drum roll, please. Gypsy's upbringing created a double-edged personality. On one hand, she was a victim of Dee's Munchausen by proxy, her life carefully staged for attention, sympathy, and control. On the other hand, she learned manipulation very early. For example, Gypsy alleged that she gave up her daughter to her husband in ways that are horrifying. That is not just bad behavior. This is calculated psychopathic manipulation, echoing her own trauma but twisted into harming others. Psychologists analyzing Gypsy exhibits traits. Psychologists analyzing Gypsy notes that she exhibits traits of a high-functioning manipulator, charm when needed, victimhood as a weapon, and an uncanny ability to get people to trust her despite her actions. Pretty crazy, if you ask me. So why is this so serious? So serious. So let's be clear. What Gypsy did is seriously criminal and morally repulsive, okay? I mean, who doesn't believe that? If you do, you might be on her side. Psycho, you know? Giving up her daughter to her husband isn't just a bad choice, it's a violation of betrayal of the most basic trust and safety children should have. And yet some media outlets portray Gypsy as a tragic hero. Oh, Lord. Kill me, please. Fact, trauma doesn't excuse manipulation. Yes, she was abused. Yes, she was a victim, but her actions shows how she is capable of harming others, even in the ways that mirror her own abuse. This is why we cannot trust her narrative blind. Many anecdotes. So some people interviewed said this is flipping between remorse and deflection, explaining her choices while minimizing consequences. That's classic manipulation behavior, and it's dangerous because audiences want to basically root for a victim. But how can we if we don't trust that? If it's manipulated, we want to believe that, right? So maybe we just do. It's a lot of crazy stuff. So the victim turn perpetrator dynamic. Here's a tricky psychological layer. Gypsy was a victim of her mother, Dee, yet she became the perpetrator herself. Some public interviews showed Gypsy flipping between remorse and deflection, explaining her choices, while minimizing consequences. That's classic manipulative behavior, and it's dangerous because audiences want to root for the victim. Just There's the victim turn perpetrator dynamic. Let's talk about this for a second. So here's a tricky psychological layer. Gypsy was a victim of her mother, Dee Dee, yet she became a perpetrator herself. Ooh, okay, right? This is what psychologists call the cycle of abuse. The victim, once they have power, can turn the tactics they suffered onto others. Gypsy's actions with her daughters are the clearest examples. Manipulation, coercion, and grooming behaviors that should terrify anyone hearing the story. Think about it. She knows how exactly to elicit empathy, how to bend reality for attention, and how to hide behind true intentions behind her victim. And that's learned, cultivated, and extremely dangerous. Why the public should not trust Gypsy. Let's not be naive here, okay? Now, let's get to the warning for the public, okay? Ready, y'all? This is it. This is it. The good part. Gypsy's story is messy, confusing, and intentionally curated. People see the tragic girl escaping her controlling mother, and their instincts are, oh, she's innocent, she's redeemed. Oh, thank the Lord for her. She went through so much. Fact is, trusting someone solely because they were abused in the past is dangerous, especially if they show manipulative tendencies afterwards. Gypsy's exploits empathy, and her charm masks the fact that she is capable of psychological abuse herself. Many anecdotes. Some interviews reveal subtle lies about her daughter, exaggeration of trauma, and deflection of blame. These are not mistakes. They are tools of a manipulative personality, and we cannot ignore them, okay? We cannot ignore them. Analysis and psychological commentary, we're going to go over a little bit here from your truly Nancy. So let's break down the psychological layer. Munchausen by proxy victim. Gypsy was controlled and manipulated from birth, right? Ooh. Well, she's also a learned manipulator. She absorbed those tactics and turned them outward. What? Psychopathy versus trauma. Trauma explains context, and it doesn't excuse coercion, grooming, or abuse. Okay? It doesn't excuse that. Public deception. Gypsy knows how to make the media and audiences feel sorry for her, even while hiding the truth. The mini anecdote with this is, imagine Gypsy. She's in her interview, smiling, crying, giving us a look how far I've come story, truth meaning. Meanwhile, the full truth about her actions is far more sinister. You guys know that, right? Can you believe this? Here's my closing monologue and warning for all of you Gypsy fans out there that do support her. Be careful. Don't trust. All right, chaos lovers. Gypsy Blanchard's story is a chilling reminder that victims can sometimes become the perpetrators. Definitely can. Laugh if you want, but don't dismiss the seriousness. Trauma is real. Manipulation is real. And we must critically evaluate who we root for. Definitely. Not Gypsy. Lesson. Empathy is powerful, but empathy without discernment can be dangerous. We must look beyond the surface, question narratives, and understand the full picture before blindly trusting someone, even if they were once a victim. Victims can become perpetrators as well. Nancy News Show, investigating the twisted, surviving the horrifying, and educating will keep you wide-eyed. Yay! Thank you so much for joining me today. And next time we'll tackle another story that's shocking, manipulative, and dark. But somehow you can't look away. How about the way? Okay. Thank you so much. Nancy News Show. We'll see you again next time. Thank you guys for joining us. God bless. Bye.